No chair throwing today, folks. No memes. Just want to have real talk. My name's Rudy. You're watching Alpha Investments. It's like 50 degrees, so I'm freezing in Florida. I want to have a kind of a real psychological conversation with you all today regarding the world of gambling and the world of investing and how it relates to the stock market, collectibles, real estate, and this cultural phenomena, this wave, this thing we're going through right now, which I've been very intrigued with. So today we're going to discuss kind of the mindset, what I see going on, and kind of my concern and my perspective, what I see. So first, if a long time ago, if you were around, if you're an old fart like me, in the 90s, obviously the taboo was to, say no to drugs and smoking and all the bad stuff, right? Well, and then of course in the 2000s, technology evolved. The 2010s, smoking evolved to vaping. And of course, now the number one addiction type thing is usually alcohol or, vaping and different things like that. And all these things kind of have derivatives that go into the new hot thing right now, which is Zyn. I think it's pronounced Zim or Zyn. And then of course it evolves into all kinds of different other tobacco, nicotine related products and things like that. Now, full disclosure, just because I don't believe in a lot of things and I don't like the direction of it, doesn't mean I'm not going to make decisions that are, financially beneficial for myself and the family long term. I am a very large shareholder in Altria, Philip Morris, British American, and Imperial brands, probably totaling, exposed to the tobacco sector, probably have about $1 million divided up between those 5 companies. And yes, I've held them for many, many years. And if you know anything about tobacco companies, yes, they have been paying me tremendous dividends on a quarterly basis, averaging probably 5 to 9% a year just in payouts, not including principal swings over the last 5 to 10 years. And obviously, if you're aware, Philip Morris recently purchased the Zyn Swedish or Swiss brand, this new smokeless whatever thing, and it's been making the stock and the company a tremendous amount of money. So first, I want to lay that out there with very quickly for everybody. I don't smoke. I don't vape. I'm not even really a fan of alcohol or anything like that. If you guys see me drinking in videos or anything with groups, it's usually sparkling water. Every once in a while, I'll treat myself to soda or something. But overall, obviously I'm a Florida Southern guy, so I like a lot of unsweet tea and hot tea and things like that. But a little bit of coffee sometimes, but mostly teas really. But anyways, just want to lay out there. There's different. Just because I don't agree with something doesn't mean I believe it should be banned. So we got to start this video with this basic principle, okay? Because now we're going to go over to the gambling conversation. Just because I don't agree with it, I'm not at all saying it should be illegal, banned, or the government should step into the secondary market. Similar to the card world, or all the crypto scams and goofy things and altcoins and garbage shit coins and everything. Just because it's a scam, no, I don't think government should intervene. If someone's stupid enough to put all their money in Huck Tua coin, is that the new thing? I thought it was Squid Games coin. They all go to zero. Who buys this stuff? Gamblers buy this stuff looking for a shortcut in life because they don't want to accept that true wealth and wealth managers focus on 6 to 8% a year. That's the real conversation. I just summed up the whole video for these guys who want to be around. So that's the issue. Is right now we have this problem where society is getting more and more full tilt into this gambling phenomena. And I can tell the bull market is in massive full swing because the type of messages and patrons and comments that you all send me, I can tell, they're all good. I'm not upset that you guys send me this stuff, but I can tell the tone shift in the last 6 to 12 months compared to 2022 and 2023. In 2023, it was Pokemon, buy Sword and Shield era product, all Scarlet Violet's worthless, and of course, you would never touch Magic, it's all going to zero. In 2024, it's, CCGs and collectibles are doing great, but Rudy, it's all about, crypto and leveraging 10, 20. I had a patron tell me they were going to leverage 50 to 1 on Bitcoin and things, and I'm like, 50 to 1? So if you have $1,000 principal, You're investing with 50 grand? So if it drops 2%, you have no equity and you get margin called and you go to zero? Like, folks, we are in a time where the thin line in the sand between investing and collecting and gambling is really, really blurry. It's really fuzzy. And everywhere I look, I go to restaurants in Florida with the family or anything, and of course, all they do is push alcohol on every table, because that's where the money is. Trust me, as someone with a restaurant background, I can tell you, when you go to your basic steak houses and mass chains and companies, they're not making money when you're buying steaks and hamburgers, folks. They're making money when you're spending $5 on a Diet Coke or $4 or $6 on unsweet tea that costs 18 cents in bulk. That's where they're making their money. And if you're buying a $10 margarita that costs, 60 cents, and then you ask for top shelf, and when the restaurant closes every night, they refill the Grey Goose bottle with a bunch of bulk plastic jug vodka, that's where they're making their money, I assure you. And it's one of these things where the gambling thing is getting wild. Like, I see it on YouTube and the social media, and all these little things, and these little short clips pop up. And they all say sponsored by some online gambling thing. And I see, if I just have the TV on and I walk by and all I see are these sports betting advertisements everywhere. And it shows, I saw one with Post Malone going, you don't need to have Post Malone level money. You can do $10 and you can get that same rush and dopamine hit. And I'm going, then it shows that the camera zooms over to Post Malone making a big bet. And going, yeah, and hitting it big, getting that rush, that addiction. And I'm going, like, this shit's wild, folks. Like, I just want to say, and I'm seeing it in the collectible world too. Because you're seeing people say, well, Rudy, if I take a $10,000 credit card, Pokemon only goes up. And if I leverage it all, 0% for 12 months and pay the 4% transaction fee, so I'm paying 4% on 10 grand for a year, I'll put it all in Surging Sparks, and a year from now, when Surging Sparks goes from 220 to 300, I'll be up 50% minus, fees online, so maybe 40%, and then credit card fee of 4%. So I'll still make 20-30% of my money in a year. And I'm like, well, yeah, that may work for you. But folks, again, that line in the sand between investing and gambling is almost disappearing. And it's really, really concerning because did everybody just forget completely what happened of like a 2-year bear market in Magic the Gathering? A complete bear market for 15 to 18 months in new Pokemon Scarlet Violet boxes? Like, do people... It's like it never happened. It's like it never happened. Every day. It's just messages and you guys just buying endless amounts. Any Pokemon, anything. Literally 2 weeks ago, I had a patron message me, a newer patron, pay by USDC crypto, and wanted boxes of Fusion Strike. And I said, hey, $2.99 a box, $300 a box times 6 boxes, so a case would be $1,800 USDC. I'll ship it, I'll double box it, protect it, seal case, get it nice and crispy clean. Guy got mad, didn't buy it. Comes back yesterday and says, hey man, I know the price is higher. Can I have Fusion Strike? Well, now it's like $360 plus tax, so yeah, $400 a box times 6. Okay, here. And I'm like, the attitude on this stuff is just weird and it's uncomfortable. And I hate to say it, but it doesn't make it a bubble though. That's the problem. We came through a bear market, we came through crashes, and especially in Magic. And what we're seeing in Bronze Era Magic buyouts, what we're seeing in new Magic with collector boxes and everything, a lot of people are now, all the noobs and the Timmies and, the people with the Game Piece Army, they're upset because they're doing well. And I'm sorry, but it's not a bubble. This is just what it's like when prices get repriced. When you see extreme repricing, Kaladesh, because an event happened, Kaladesh should have never been to $300, $350 a box. It should have always been over $500, $600 a box. So do I think Kaladesh is $2,000? No. Is it going to be $1,500? No. Is it going to be $1,000 and hold that? Probably not. Is it going to spike there and swing around? Probably. But we're seeing the rewiring of lower income and lower socioeconomic class, hardworking people being pulled in these directions of, hey man, you had a tough day. Come on, let's go out to the bar, get some drinks, man. Let's get you decompressed and feel better, you know? No, that's not the solution to having a hard day. The solution is, yes, hang out with your friends and family. That is the solution. Going somewhere and dropping $50, $100, $200 with alcohol, the next day feeling like crap and having no energy and motivation as your body detoxes a bunch of toxic stuff from you is not the solution, because you're draining your own money, you're reducing your productivity, you're hurting your health, because alcohol is the cool thing to do. It's fucking weird. And, come on, we know the machine of society and consumerism is wants us to do that. And again, the smoking thing, same thing. I don't agree with it all. I don't think none of it should be, I think it's all should be legal. I have no problem with people doing it, but I don't agree with it. And so that's where we're at. And now we have this gambling explosion revolution between all this sports betting and this new massive explosion of poly market and this new massive explosion of betting on events and life contracts and these new derivatives where you bet on elections, you bet on government shutdowns and budgets, and you bet on sports, you bet on if it's going to rain tomorrow, you bet on how long is it going to be. Is the new SpaceX rocket going to get delayed? You're going to 40% chance there. Like, this stuff is wild. Like, folks, the problem is a lot of people don't have the education experience. All of these things are bad. They are toxic. They are addictive. They are designed to lure you in based on how the human brain is wired. They are designed to give you, folks, it's like a casino. When people tell you, hey, Rudy, how's your day going? Oh, great. Thanks, man. Thanks for asking. Okay, what do you really want? Hey, I know you're not a big fan, but I just want to let you know, are you going to be at the Vegas next week? No, I am working and spending time with my family. Oh, okay, that seems weird. Yeah, it's kind of a weird concept nowadays. Well, I'm going to be in Vegas, and they're flying me out, and I got a big suite on top of, I don't know, Caesar's Palace or the Wynn or, something like that. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's all being comped and taken care of. So it's really awesome they take care of me. And I said, that's great. And then I know exactly what that means. If a casino is flying you out and giving you $5,000 hotel suite at the top and giving you access to all kinds of Wagyu steak with a nice, beautiful young lady escort, everything's free. No, that means you've already probably lost hundreds of thousands. And essentially, they have, depending on what you lose and how much you gamble, they have a percentage formula that they track on your fancy card that they are allowed to give you in incentives. So when someone tells me that, I go, wow, this guy's a hardcore gambler. Now again, I have no problems with gambling, and if you enjoy it and you can control it, knock yourself out. But most people can't. Okay? If you're a multimillionaire and you want to go to Vegas, have fun, knock yourself out. If you've got a guy helping you, you got a money manager, you got a certain amount of budget, that's great. But that's not normal people. It doesn't affect the rest of your life. I'm talking about a situation here where, the public and young people seem to be starting out with trading cards and cracking packs of sports cards, Pokemon, Magic, or game cards. And they seem to be evolving and transitioning to microtransactions, loot boxes. And then it's like this, they hold your hand and you prancercise, right? And it's like you're just slowly easing into it. And before you know it, you're fantasy football, gamble, you have all these apps, you have all these poly market bets you're betting on. You're in all these different things, and you're putting $5, $10, and before you know it, it's $50. Because the problem is with gamblers is when you gamble $5 and $10, you ever notice these companies when you sign up? It's like, yeah, hey, I'll give you $500 for free just to gamble. It's like a drug addict, the first one's free? I mean, how is that not a giant red flag? So, the problem with gambling and the way human brains are wired is you can bet $5. Let's say you win and you get paid off 5-1 and you get 20, 30 bucks back or something crazy. And you think you're hot stuff. The problem is the way human beings are wired, just the way our brains are, is that after that happens, that $5 or that $30 win or that $25 win, that 5x, suddenly it's like an addict. You don't feel anything anymore. And once that happens, that's when the bar has to be moved up to betting $50. And if you win or lose, doesn't matter. Eventually, you'll win one time. You can lose 30 times, and we'll just block that out. But when you win one time, that $50 goes to $500. Nice little 10x. Next time, you're not going to want to bet $10, $20, $30, $40. Because in the way we are as humans is we always want more. It is just the natural progression of being a human being. In this gambling thing, I don't think people understand how big of a deal this is and how much it's evolving. And it's evolving fast, and it's moving very aggressively. I have not seen, everywhere I go on social media, I see ads, pop-ups, YouTubers, these short clips, playing these little games and everything, and it shows them winning and getting excited or jumping up and down. And it allures you. Because it shows up on your phone, or it shows up on your computer, or it shows up on TV, and it shows a famous person, and it shows a bunch of beautiful women, maybe exotic cars, fancy houses, and you're sitting there on your lunch break at Taco Bell working with Rudy on Fridays, and suddenly you're going, man, definitely, working here at Taco Bell is, with Rudy is fun, but I'm never going to get ahead. I need bigger, this amount of money is not going to get me to, buying a Bugatti in every color. And you start to seek out shortcuts. Shortcuts lead to lowering your defenses and taking on risks and throwing your money at things that a normal, sane, stable person would never do. I would never literally do these poly market sports betting. Now, if you're doing it for fun, you and your buddies, and you're just having fun with it, and it's being controlled, and it's not out of control, that's fine. But everybody says it's no big deal. Everybody says this and that. But I don't want to say everybody, most of these people are lying. They are on a slippery slope. These are people most people who gamble in these things and do the apps and the micro things, the poly markets, the sports bet, most of these people don't have the capital to do this. And the problem is, when you do these things, the worst thing that can happen, which is usually what happens, is the person wins one or two times. And they get a taste of it. And that dopamine, that endorphin rush hits your bloodstream, and it's euphoric. And when that happens, that's it. Because you're always going to chase that. And it's a very dangerous thing. And this is, like I said, this video, I'm not trying to push cards or Rudy's Patreon or send me messages or buy anything. I just want to kind of go over. Actually, you know what? I am. This video is sponsored by, link below. I got my once a year annual Alpha Investment t-shirts. Buy a t-shirt from me. I make between like $2 and $8. I make $5 off you. So someone buy a t-shirt. Link below on eBay. I have my annual shirts on there. Tell me you like me. Buy a t-shirt. But I mean, past that, I just want people to understand that it's they're making everything sound like it's okay. And these companies who are these billion-dollar companies, not just casinos, these billion-dollar empires are seeping this stuff into our everyday lives. And it's just getting absolutely ridiculous. And similar to alcohol or vaping or smoking, it's all becoming cool. And, oh, I do that too. Oh, no way, bro. Oh, dude, you're doing that? Yeah, I did poly market too. I got 15 bets going right now. Here, come on, let's talk about it. Let's have a smoke break and talk about it. Dude, let's get some drinks later. I got to tell you what I'm betting on. It becomes this thing where it interweaves in this social fabric. Like, it's cool to hang out and have good people, but you don't need to have these particular topics, because that's like I talk about on this channel for years with videos. You need to surround yourself with good people, good families or friends or whatever members you have that help your life, that push you forward or whatever. I've told you 100 times. I'm sorry, I don't have a get-rich-quick CD. I can't tell you what box of Magic or Pokemon to buy to get you rich. I told you a million times. If I knew, why would I buy every single set hoping to hit it, long term and go up? I don't. I'm sitting on all kinds of products that have never gone up, and I'm sitting on products, Lord of the Rings or something, that have skyrocketed, made me a fortune. But I don't know. And it's a very shaky world out there, and a lot of deception. And, some things do real well. People buy things from me. Some skyrocket, some tank, some do absolutely nothing. I sell packs of cards. And this gambling investing thing is blurring the expectations because it's making more and more young people not become investors. Because if they invest $1,000 in a year from now, Rudy, I invested in the S&P 500. I had a great year. I put $1,000 in, and the S&P is all-time high. I'm up 20% in 2024, and I'm pretty upset by it. I'm like, why are you upset? Well, I put $1,000 in a year ago, and I'm at $1,200. That's amazing! And to normal people, because the dollar amount is low, they're sitting there going, oh, this is boring. And then they got a buddy who puts all their money in some altcoin, hot to a squid game, cum rocket, emoji, frog, Pepe, something, and some dude makes 400% in a day. He puts $1,000 in, turns it into $5,000, and thinks he's hot stuff. And the conservative person doing the right thing feels like a loser. It's changing, and it's making normal investing feel bad and feel boring and feel like it's not working. The problem is wealthy individuals. If I put in $1 million in the S&P 500, and in 12 months from now I make a follow-up video with you guys and say, whoa, the S&P had a blowout year, made 20%, and my million I make $200,000 profit on $1 million, goes to 1.2 million. It's long-term capital gain, so it's a lower tax rate at, 15, 20% or whatever long-term is. And all of a sudden, it's like, wow, this is great. So the wealthier person is taking less risk and is still going to win the long game. The normal, hard-working Americans, and I guess those of you around the world too, are going to work hard because you have less resources. It's going to lead you on a path where you have a higher probability of taking excessive risk and being lured in to scams or something where, hey, Rudy, I got this buddy. He buys into this thing, and they're located in Antarctica, South Africa, in 5 stories underground. Oh, really? And they know exactly when to buy and sell Bitcoin, and they know exact timing on the S&P, and you give them all your money overseas, and they trade for you, and they make 100% a month. Oh, God. And most of you all are laughing, rolling your eyes. And I know, Nigerian prince, he's got $1 billion for Timmy, but he has to have you send $100,000 because the money's covered in, dirt or oil and needs to be cleaned or something. And it has to be shipped over, or taxes, or some ridiculous story. And while most of you all are laughing, going, who falls for this? People fall for it every day. And now that it's becoming more subtle, it's not some giant prince around the world. Now it's becoming more subtle things. Hey, just, Rudy, dude, you see this new thing? And you're in Florida, Rudy. I'm going to bet $1,000 that next year we have less than 10 named hurricanes. But then there's a side bet for $5,000 I'm doing where that less than 4 hurricanes will make landfall in Florida. What? Wait. You're now taking your hard-earned money and you're betting on weather patterns in a year from now. Like, this is what's happening. Well, Rudy, this is part of my portfolio. That's not a portfolio. Placing bets on the weather pattern, or how many times Rudy's going to go to the bathroom after hitting Taco Bell, and how many orders of waffle fries I'll eat in a year, that's gambling. You are not building wealth. You think you're trying to involve with all these things, but you're not. These are not good things, man. And it's being pushed. And the people who are generally going for this stuff are targeting lower income and just regular working class, normal people. Yes, there are rich celebrities and athletes that get involved in gambling. And if you don't believe me, Google it. Google celebrities and athletes and movie stars and rock stars who've gone bankrupt, lost everything from gambling or from alcohol or everything. Google it. Google it. Look how many there are. Look how many famous NBA, football players, basketball players, baseball players, any of them. Look how many of them have signed multi-million-dollar contracts and they're bankrupt 5-10 years later, they're injured or whatever. They go out, get a bunch of chicks, go to the club, buy a Bugatti, get a big house, and they don't pay cash. No, everything's leveraged. They got monthly payments for all their vehicles, their jets, their houses. Their monthly payments are probably $100,000 a month. And of course, taxes. They get injured in sports. They get laid off. They get transferred. Falling out with the band members because, the drummer, banged your wife and something, and suddenly the band separates. And all this stuff is crazy, man. And I'm telling you all, like I said, I'm not trying to sell you guys any boxes of Magic or Pokemon this video. That's up to you guys. I just want to have a video today. Still buy a shirt. I don't take outside sponsors. I get emails all the time, these sponsors and all these different things to do these ad reads, and I don't do any of that stuff, folks. I've never done it. I've been on YouTube almost a decade. If you want to support me, buy a shirt. Click the link below. There you go. But I just want everyone to be careful, please. I'm trying to bamboozle you guys and sell you a $25 t-shirt from Alpha Investments and everything. But overall, seriously, please be careful. Please be anything that's too good to be true. Anyone promising you returns that are double digit, which is 10% or more a year, is risky. Okay? Nobody knows. Sure, Pokemon boxes have a long track record and they are the blue chip of sealed product, and historically they have done like 10 to 30% a year for the last 25 years. I get it. But please, nobody knows what's going to happen. We can have a market turn anytime. Don't leverage. Have a stable foundation in life before doing things, and stay away from the drinking, smoking, gambling. And if you enjoy those things with your buddies and family and friends or whatever, it's part of your life, and there's no way to get rid of it, just control it. You have to keep a discipline. I'm not saying you shouldn't do any of these things. It's not for me. But I'm telling you all, if you want to have a productive, highest probability chance of having a good future, there is nothing positive that those three categories can help you with. That's all I'm getting at. There's literally nothing. The less you do of any of those three categories increases the probability that your future will be better. Money, health, opportunities, choices, friends. I'm not saying any of those things will ruin your life. This is a probability math game. And again, just keep this stuff under control. I don't know how crazy this gambling, betting, poly market, event contracts, all this stuff, I don't know how crazy it's going to get. But I'm hearing rumors now that everything from Fidelity to Charles Schwab to TD to Merrill Lynch to the Robinhood, they're in the process of expanding all kinds of gambling stuff in the apps. So real brokerage firms that have real funds and SEC regulated and are SIPC insured for your stocks and shares of your XYZ ABC stock or whatever, these companies are going to start offering other products. And be aware, it looks like the next 5 years, this kind of betting and gambling is going to get pretty big. And it's going to get very blurry because it's going to be mixed in with brokerage firms in actual investments. So these gambling is not investing. I know some of you guys are going to make fun of me. Rudy, you're the guy who's always gambling on every new product and Magic and Pokemon stuff that comes out. And yes, that's one way to look at it. I don't view it that way. I run a very large business. Our revenue for Alpha Investments is very substantial per year. And yes, we pay a lot of taxes every year. And yes, that is, sometimes you can view a box of cards tanking or going up or down as a gamble. I just view it as inventory. Inventory goes up and down. So there's gray areas of everything. I don't really have an answer to a lot of that stuff. I just want to talk to you guys about it. I want to say I made this video, I had the conversation, and I hope at least one person out there watches this video and says, you know what? That creepy Rudy taco eating crazy SOB who's always taking my stepsister and trying to get her to do laundry when I'm not home because something about the washing machine or the dryer she gets stuck in. Look, I know that guy and he manipulates markets and it's cost me money and he hates the game piece army and that Rudy guy is always trying to make money and he thinks cards should have value and shouldn't go to zero. Those are all facts. But just like I said, try to think for yourself. And these large companies pushing these ads. Remember, folks, 2 important golden rules. There are certain things in this world you should never pay for. Number 1, marketing. I don't advertise this channel. I don't put ads. I don't do anything. You guys watching it, social media bashing me, you guys are my marketing advertising department. Make fun of me. Please make videos bashing Rudy. Do something. Get my name out there. I have a $0 marketing budget. Number 2, relationships, significant other, male or female, sex, all that stuff. It's, these things are things you shouldn't have to pay for. Similar to marketing, If done properly and you try to do the best you can, the right thing, life should naturally take care of certain things. You shouldn't have to pay for certain things. And the fact that this gambling industry is spending insane hundreds of millions of dollars pushing it everywhere is just, that should tell you everything you need to know. And of course, Rudy's trying to sell you guys a t-shirt. Thanks for watching, folks. Hope it helps somebody out there. You guys have a beautiful day. And thanks for the support and the views on this channel as we approach almost a decade on YouTube. Have a beautiful day.